Hey, Purpose for the Painter. God dropped something in my spirit today, and it wasn't until I just looked at the date that I realized how significant God is. I just realized today is January the 5th. God called me to Jeremiah 1, verse 5. I promise you, I did not realize that until I literally just looked at the date. But God was dealing with this with me earlier. I have a very big problem, transparency moment. I have a problem with wanting to be perfect, a perfectionist issue, if you will. And God has been dealing with me with that. Jeremiah 1 verse 5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." Before he even put you in the womb, he knew who you were. He knew who you were going to be. He knew the mess ups. He knew the stumbling blocks. He knew what you were going to be facing. He knew the temptations. He knew exactly who you were going to be. And he still called you. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And many are called. Very few are chosen. He called you a prophet before you even knew, when you were cussing, drinking, fighting, fornicating, living in sexual immorality, all of the things. He still called you a prophet. He still called you. Don't disqualify yourself when God already qualified you. Who are you to turn away what God has called? And that goes especially for yourself. Sometimes we're our biggest critics. Trust that God knew what he was doing when he called you his prophet, when he called you his child, when he called you his chosen one. And step in it and make your Father proud. And when you stumble, ask for his forgiveness. Just know that he will wash your sins white as snow. Don't abuse grace, but it's there for you. New grace and mercy every single day. You got to trust that he knew what he was doing when he called you before the foundations of the world. You're going to be all right. And you're going to step into everything God has called you to step into. Get what he's told you to get. Because if you miss it, whose fault is it for real? Trust God in this time. Forgive yourself. No condemnation. Only conviction, and that's just to correct you. Trust that he knew what he was doing. It's that time now.